I have the best daddy in the world, but don't take my word for it. Listen to what these people have to say about my daddy or Paco the realtor, as you know him. They better be nice to him.
All right, I would like you to meet the Leja. Say hello, guys.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
They have a very unique story that I think is worth learning from. So, why don't I start by asking you guys, how long did the whole process take from the time I met you, which is the time you were looking at homes by yourself on the internet with no realtor, and you heard me on the phone with a client, to the time you actually got the keys to move into a house? How long was that? How many years?
At least 2.5 years.
At least 2.5 years.
So the reason I bring that up is because they're very typical in that people these days do their own research. They're very independent. They don't want to be pressured. They don't want people breathing over them. They want to figure out what's out there before they decide to do that. So they did that. I met them and we had some good conversations. We started looking at their house. Now, originally, your expectations and your goals was to stay around Eastvale.
Correct.
And the reason is because of family and your job. You didn't want to drive far. So their original plan was to stay in Eastvale and Corona.
Yes.
And we went and started looking in Eastvale and Corona and realized what? Why didn't we buy in Eastvale or Corona?
Eastville
Taxes,
Melrose.
Melrose.
and the property value went up
Nice.
$100,000 in 2 years.
Too expensive.
Too expensive.
And then we went to South Corona. And what was the issue with South Corona?
Older homes,
Older
and it was
homes.
too far
Exactly.
for her commute.
So we had a plan. Eastville didn't work. South Corona didn't work. So at that point, we had nowhere to go. We really didn't.
We thought.
We thought. So then we said, well, why don't you guys try the city of Jurupa Valley? And Jim looked at me and said, where in the hell is that?
Yeah, everybody goes, how did you guys find this place? It's not on the map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know the city, so I bring him to the hills next to the golf course, and that starts that journey. We find a home, which isn't this one. We like it a little, enough. There was some issues. We make an offer, and then what happens to the offer we made?
The offer sat on the desk for 2 months.
At least.
At least 2
And then she tells us
The client's in China.
the clients was in China and they couldn't do they couldn't get documents to the clients. Even though we have technology to do that, she couldn't do it, and that went on for 2 months. And then finally she says, oh, we took another offer, but the house still sat empty for 7 more months.
Well, no, I was at work and I went online and I said, hey, Jim, the house shows sold.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I said, how is that? And I said, so can you call and find out what's going on with that?
They pretty much
Because
BS'd
they
and
never
lied to us.
called us.
Yeah.
They lied to us.
Yeah.
What happened was they had an offer. She was waiting to either double in it or something, and they lied to us.
Yes.
And we had to go through a process, and there was something, and then so frustration again.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I'm at my daughter's soccer game. I'm coaching it, and I get calls from Jim, and he says, "We're on our way to an open house. We found this house. You've got to come look at it." How did you guys find that house?
Well, some guy called me and told me there's a house down the street from the one you like. And let me send you some pictures of it. So the pictures were really nice pictures, but it didn't actually show how magnificent this house is we have. The pictures did not do justice. It showed upgrades, but this house we have is a miracle blessing from God on the golf course, and it's more than what we expected.
Well, actually, he said, you want to go look at it? And I'm thinking I gave up. And I'm thinking, no, I really don't. And then I thought, he woke up that morning, he says, do you want to go look at the house? And I said, you know what? Yeah, why not? I was online looking at it. Yeah, let's go see it.
So
We were
open
the
house
first
started
here.
at 11. We got here at 10:45.
We were here 10:45. First one's here. And he was talking ball and
Oh,
everything outside.
I was talking to you, Paco, on the phone,
Yes.
and she's in the house looking at the house, so I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So when I get to the door, she's coming down the stairs and goes, oh yeah, this'll work. This'll work. Miss
I don't
Picky
normally do
here
that.
in 10 minutes says, this'll work.
Yeah.
So that made my day right there.
And then so you tell me get over there, so I get
Get
over
over
here.
there.
I get
Came
it
right away.
after my daughter's game. I
Yeah.
came straight here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out that talked to the agent, made an offer, got accepted, and little did we know that was actually the beginning of the stress,
Yes.
not the end.
Yes.
So we go into escrow. Everything's going as planned. We do the inspection. The loan's going good.
Praise
Everything's going as planned. The sellers are saying they're going to move on time. They're going to do everything. And then we come to realize that maybe 45 days into it, they tell us we don't want to sell the house anymore.
Yeah.
They had a situation with them that we don't have to go into detail, but they decided that maybe it wasn't the best option for them.
Right.
And of course, that put us in a situation because, hey, you guys had already turned in, gave to where you were living that you guys were going to move out.
Yes,
Exactly.
Notice.
So now the stress starts on that end. We have to get an attorney involved. We had to start pushing people. And how long did that take? Was that about 3 months?
About 3 months,
Yeah, about
90
3
days.
months,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not knowing what was going to happen. We kept at it. We didn't cancel. We just kept going. And then we finally get them to the point where they say, all right, we're going to sign. And they do. And we close.
And prior to that, he did not meet the deadline for funding.
Yeah.
He played games even at the end. Up until the end, he didn't come sign the paper for funding, so we had to wait another week so his wife could stay here another week because she didn't have a place to live.
That's correct. And that was her big argument with us. We have nowhere to go. And we're like, we feel bad for you, but it's not our problem anymore.
Right.
So
And-
Paco bought about $150 in boxes and brought it here. Said, "Lady, you have to go."
I became friends with her even though I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Had to do what we had to do. And then Jim got mad because I bought her the boxes, but not him.
Yeah. Wait a minute. We need boxes.
I like her boxes.
Well, at that point, the goal was to get her out at any
Yeah,
cost.
I buy my own boxes.
I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Help her out. And
So they definitely stressed us out, waited till the last possible second. They made
Everything.
every single step was
Yeah.
literally on purpose to wait till the last possible second to make her life miserable, which cost delays on the movers, which cost delays on the loan, which cost delays on everything.
Everything.
But we finally get to it. They sign. We close. Then we close, and now we give them 3 days to move out, and now we don't know if they're going to move out.
Right.
Yeah.
And thank God that we pushed hard on that part, and they actually moved out.
Yes.
They left you guys a few little gifts.
Yeah.
That a few little gifts on that they didn't take with them, or they said they were going to pick up later, which we found out they didn't, or you had to force them to pick up.
Right.
Different conversation for a different day. But we finally show up. I think it's a Wednesday. Was it a Wednesday?
Yeah.
It was a Wednesday. I meet you guys here. I give you the keys. We do a walkthrough, and neither of us can believe you actually have the keys now.
Right.
Still don't believe it.
But it took a while, even
Yeah.
sleeping here the first night.
So that Monday, we moved in Friday. That Monday, I looked at Wayne and said, "Are you sure we don't have to check out? Is this a hotel in Palm Springs? Because we're overlooking at the golf course out our bedroom window. It's like, this has got to be a dream."
But you guys stayed with it, and now you have
Yes.
this beautiful home. And so the biggest thing is that it's not easy. The key is staying to it, problem solving, not stressing about it, which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because, especially for you guys, that's our job. Our job is to try not to stress and be unemotional
Right.
about it, because you guys had enough emotions going.
Absolutely.
Just so you guys know, no, you're pointing at her. Who was the one that paid a few visits to the other
Thank
realtor?
you.
Was that her? And you would always start by saying, "I was in the neighborhood."
I was in the neighborhood. I'm like, what are you doing there?
Well, I really was. The dentist office was actually right up the street.
And-
I didn't know it. I just walked into a Century 21 office and go, I gave them the scenario,
Okay.
and they go, "Is Frank your the
Name.
cell?"
Okay.
Yeah, it's him.
Of all the offices,
We
of
have
all
your-
the Century 21
All of them.
in the world, you just happen to
And
walk in.
We are your broker.
I said, Jim, you just lucked up and found it
Yeah,
just
wow.
like that.
You should have bought a lottery ticket that day.
Oh,
It was
my
destiny.
God.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was-
sure that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It was destiny.
So let me ask you this. So going through this whole process, a few months living here now, what advice would you give a first-time buyer that feels like giving up because A, they can't find the house, B, they keep getting they make offers and they're not accepted? What would you tell them now that you've gone through this process?
I would tell a first-time buyer to be persistent, look at a lot of houses, no matter how long it takes, but give yourself a time frame. because if you wait too long, the property value goes up. It might go up $50,000 or $75,000 in 1 year, depending on the area. But be persistent and have all your paperwork in order, your T's crossed, your I's dotted for docs, and go with Paco. Whatever he tells you to do, do it.
Go with Paco. Even with that, you know, being pre-approved and everything, and you think everything was going to be smooth. Even our lenders were saying, put on your dancing shoes. You're going right in smooth. I said, no, that's your end.
But
we got to deal with the other end. But I didn't give up, and I was calm with him, and I kept him calm.
Yeah, I
and
was
let him
calm.
know that
Yes, you did.
I
It
was
was
calm.
other people involved here and other personalities that you just don't give up. Anything fighting for is worth having.
I was getting ready to say that.
Okay, see?
That was my next.
And I was just calm. I'm like,
Anything worth having is worth going through something to get it.
Anything that can be built in a day can be destroyed in a day.
exactly.
And you guys,
Exactly.
you guys fought, and you played therapist
Yes.
to the lender.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
She did.
Yes.
'Cause I stopped
Yeah.
talking
No, she
to
did.
her.
Most definitely.
I started I ended up just sending text messages because at the end,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understood his frustration because they said they wanted to close in 30 days. He had us pre-approved in 22 days, ready for closing, and then they backed out.
yeah, and it was completely out of. Here's the key:
Out of
we had no control.
We had no control.
Neither
No
the lender, you guys, or myself had no control.
Yes.
None. We had to
Or-
force the issue.
His agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't give up. Is so that moral of the goal is don't give up. Be persistent. Look at multiple houses, and then I know you mentioned me a little, but have somebody that's persistent and patient with you guys also.
Right.
Because I'm sure there's times where I could have been like, you know what, I'm done too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with you, because Jim talked to you, we were in homecoming and
Yes.
we were on the computer.
Yes.
And he kept on saying, I'm going to stick with this guy, you know. And I said, well, what about him is it that you're going to stick with him on? He seems sincere, and he's like, he knows, it's just something about it. And I said, you know what, okay, let's give it a little time. And so when Paco took us to a few of the houses, what sold me on him and his realness and being a genuine person, he would look at me when we walk in a place, and then he would say what I'm thinking. And then I'm thinking, is this to sell the place, or is he just doing this? But he
Wow.
was real because he was saying, you don't like it. What did you want? This is not what you want. This is not what I'm reading from you. And so he's reading me and I'm reading him. And I'm like, Jim, I think I'm going to stick with him because
Yeah.
he's reading.
Well,
I said, you're out of control. But Paco got it going on. He
Well,
knows what's happening here.
I know who the decision maker is, first of all.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
And second of all is we can put on paper what we want, but until you see the properties,
Right.
you really
Exactly.
don't know.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I react to you because your body language is going to tell me.
Right.
Like there was certain properties in South Corona I liked,
Right.
and the minute you saw them, I saw your body language, and I said, okay, they don't, but let me
Yeah.
find out why, so we don't see these houses anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It is
Exactly.
eliminating
Yes.
what you don't like to figure out
Yeah.
what you do like.
Right.
And I must say he did a great job at eliminating, finding out our wants and needs, and end up picking the perfect type home we were looking for.
In an air, and now you guys, in fairness, you guys did help me a little because the original plan was a single story.
Yes.
And for the obvious reasons,
Right.
and this is a 2, but based on where it's at, the price, you were willing to give that part
Absolutely.
in because everything else was perfect.
Right.
in it.
Absolutely.
So you guys also made it a little easier. So, all right, guys. So I think I've taken a lot of your time, and I really appreciate you guys being honest and everything. And we're gonna go ahead and put this on video as a testimonial on first for buyers who are going through the process who actually want to give up. So I thank you very much for your time. And by the way, Jim, I love that we are next to a golf course. And on video, the shirt looks like you're going to go golfing
Well,
right after
tea,
this.
tea time's at 11, guys.
Is it really?
We've got to get out of here.
Hey, thank you so much for watching our videos. I appreciate it. If you really like the content, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be putting out a lot of content on a weekly basis, which will be real estate related and a lot of stuff of just me ranting. So thank you. Remember, subscribe.